Ever felt a hunger you can't name, constantly seeking, yet never feeling full? That craving might be a sign you're dancing with a shadow of hunger, and the grace that awaits you called boundlessness. This specific shadow challenge, an evolutionary pattern, is personal to me because it's part of my life's work, because nothing has ever filled me up more than the truth of what nourishes my soul. But before we get into the details of the shadow, let's explore it through a parable. At this point, please close your eyes and visualize the story I am about to share. Long ago, there was a city hidden in the center of the world, the city of fullness. It was said that whoever arrived there would never hunger again. No craving, no emptiness, no longing, just peace, just presence. Many had heard of it, most had chased it, but few ever made it. Among the travelers was a woman named Ira. She was born with a hunger in her bones. She hungered for food, yes, but also for truth, for love, for something unnamed that made her eyes dart in every direction, always searching. She crossed oceans, scaled mountains, studied ancient scrolls, and followed mystics, lovers, and mentors. And always the hunger remained, a gnawing ache that she tried to feed with success, connection, stimulation, even silence, but nothing stayed long. One day, exhausted and alone, she met an old man at the edge of a vast desert. He was tending a fire, humming softly. "Where are you headed?" he asked. "To the city of fullness," she whispered. He smiled. "It's not far. The path is strange. To enter, you must bring no hunger with you, only emptiness that listens." She was puzzled. "But how do I get rid of my hunger?" The man looked at her gently. "You don't. You follow it inward." The city of fullness, she would later learn, wasn't a place, it was a state. And it was always waiting not at the end of her quest, but at the heart of her willingness to stop running from the ache and listen to what it longed to become. This 35th evolutionary pattern of change, and it represents the desire to experience life fully. It sits in the constellation of Gemini, ruled by Mercury, symbolizing the need to communicate, express, and explore. But under the surface, something deeper pulses. In this shadow of hunger, it is not just for food or success, but for experience, for intimacy, for transformation. It is one of the most profoundly human archetypes, which there is a fear of surrender in its complementary shadow, the shadow of impatience. Understanding hunger as a universal shadow. Hunger isn't inherently bad. In fact, it's what drives evolution. It is the engine of life, the reason we seek more than survival. But when we don't understand hunger, when we fear the emptiness inside, we either suppress it or become enslaved by it. In its repressive form, hunger becomes boredom, detachment, apathy, a sense of flatness. In its reactive form, it becomes mania, excess, overconsumption, a frenzy. Both expressions are fear-based. Fear that we will never be enough, never have enough, never feel whole. And that's the heart of this 35th challenge. To learn how to be with the hunger without trying to escape it. Because hunger, when denied or indulged too much, creates suffering. But when honored and integrated, it becomes a gateway to something extraordinary. Those interested in doing deeper personal alchemy and wish to have a means of accelerating an understanding of shadow work. Over the last 3 to 5 years, I have collected a wealth of information from various esoteric systems, namely the I Ching, human design, gene keys, the chakra systems, and astrology. as well as integrating them with the human genetic code. And in this chart, you will find the details of all the different shadows, all the different fears, the specific fears that fuel those specific shadows, all 64, all in relationship to each codon. And in this wheel, you will find 4 legends on each corner because they can't all fit on one corner or one side to make it a nice, evenly balanced square. So here is the statements from each zodiac sign. So you can see. And then we have the legend for each chakra. You'll notice that there are more than 7, and because there are more than 7 because it is including the spleen as a means to detect threats. So there's an intuitional center there. There's also a center of willpower called the thyroid, because when we are born, the thyroid is literally almost, if not as big as our heart. So we have to accommodate that. And on the other side of this, you will also find an understanding of the I Ching, the hexagram system, the different trigrams, the relationship to the three-dimensional plane, the yin and the yang, and how each of the 6 lines are affiliated with different archetypes, thanks to the human design and or gene key system. And lastly, you will also find the human genetic sequence chart for all the amino acids associated with the human genetic code. But furthermore, you will also find in this chart all the different zodiacs, all 12, mixed with the human design gene key chart. Bear with me, my graphics card is not as fast as other people's on their computer, but you will see all the different fears, all the different shadows, and how they relate to each chakra in those colorful little dots. So you can see how it affects each energy center in the body and how each of them have their own repressive and reactive statements because there are 6 expressions in each challenge. Therefore, you will also find those 6 lines in there, all with their own repressive and reactive statements, their associated dilemmas from that specific shadow, which eventually will clear up, the gift from making the right choices regularly and practicing that gift with its own unique self-empowerment statement. So as you learn to vacate the trapped emotions such as sadness, fear, anger, shame, and guilt, and you will reorient towards true self-alignment and honoring the intuition and inner authority that you possess, it will lead you towards the grace specific to that challenge. So if you would like to learn more about this and or you would like to download this file for your own personal means of translating your specific challenges in the human design system or in the gene key system, it is all there for you. All you have to go is to my website and download this PDF file. It's about 50 megabytes in size. I hope you enjoy this and hope you enjoy this brief glimpse into this massive PDF with all the details about all the specific challenges you'll have in your personal self-realization path. In order to find this PDF, a link will be found down below in the description of the YouTube video. When using that elaborate and vast chart of information, you can use the human design apps found in the App Store on Google Play so that you can choose whichever speaks to you most. And as you choose whichever human design app works best for you, you can then use that towards the chart. So you get your information and your numbers. And then after that, you can use the chart as reference. For example, I use the human design app, which helps me see the specific numbers that I need to see in the top right-hand corner. The red are the unconscious. These are the ones that were imprinted when the soul decided to remain anchored in the body about 90 days before you were born, between the second and the third trimester. The black numbers indicate the conscious, more aware challenges that you know you have in your current life, based on your survival challenges and your adversities currently going on in your life. You can also find that same application in the Human Design App Store for iPhone and or iOS before you start using the chart that you have purchased online. Thank you very much. And if you ever need more information on this and you wanted a free consultation in understanding the current challenges in your life and how it relates to human design, feel free to reach out through the links below. You can also visit thegenekeys.com. There, you will also find a different kind of chart. It relates to the same challenges and same numerical sequences as found in the I Ching and Human Design. And there you'll be able to find a free profile link where you can then enter in your personal information in this field and then have a look at your specific gene key profiles and understand your genus sequence, your Venus sequence in opening up your heart, your love sequence, prosperity, and finding inner harmony. Thank you for watching this short introduction into the Wheel of Evolutionary Change and the chart that I've shown you in brief. And hopefully through those apps and through this PDF, you will find a way to decode the challenges you face and understand how to make the best choices for you and everyone you were meant to impact positively in your life. Now back to the shadow work and the evolutionary change in this video. Why does this shadow exist? We often think of our shadow as mistakes, like something went wrong in the design of the soul. But in truth, the shadow is the cocoon, the place of pressure, the great initiation or initiator. The shadow of hunger exists not to punish us, but to slow us down, strip us of false pursuits, and bring us to the edge of surrender. It creates a contrast. It shows us the limits of indulgence and the numbness of avoidance. And once we reach the end of the road, when we can no longer run, fix, chase, or sedate, something else arises. A turning inward, a listening, a choice to become the adventurer, not the addict. This is not about moral superiority or spiritual bypassing. It's about letting the hunger guide us home, not to another thrill, but to truth. Hunger as an evolutionary blueprint. Hunger is a biological necessity. It's built into our evolution. Every time humanity reaches a plateau, technologically, emotionally, spiritually, it is hunger that catalyzes the next leap. This 35th shadow represents this evolutionary tension point. It pushes us to move, to grow, to experiment. It's why we climb Everest, why we write symphonies, why we ask, what else is possible? But that same hunger can also consume us if we don't know how to wield it. In this way, this specific challenge is neutral. It becomes divine when we use it in service to the heart. At the other end of this specific challenge is not just adventure, but boundlessness. This is not the thrill-seeking kind of adventure, but the adventure of becoming fully present in the unknown. And from there, the grace of boundlessness emerges, one that needs no validation, no consumption, no urgency. Boundlessness is a state where the hunger dissolves, not because you were finally fed by the world, but because you remembered you were never truly lacking in the first place. That is the highest truth hidden within this shadow, and it all begins with the courage to say, I will not run from this hunger anymore. I will simply listen to it. I will let it lead me inward. In future videos, I'll dive deeper into various other shadow challenges and many other graces that await us by moving through those challenges. But for now, simply reflect on this question. What is my hunger trying to teach me? If that question stirs something in you, you're already on the path. For more on the shadow of hunger, you'll find more in the description below. You'll also find a link to reach out in case you want a free consultation. The other link is to my website, so you get to know me a little bit more, understand what I do, how I do it, and why I do it. You'll also find links to 3 meetup groups: Divination Systems, where I explore and integrate human design and the gene keys. The next one is Emotional Intelligence and Mastery, so you can navigate your emotions with healthy dialogue, understanding how they can be used as friends to fulfill true self-nourishing manifestations, instead of being in control by them while our shadow uses them as fuel. And lastly, emotional trauma release. This group is all about holding safe space for people that want to allow those emotions to emerge, feelings to surface, and to purge what no longer needs to reside in the spiritual and energy bodies, so that you can create vacancy for what you want to embody moving forward. Thank you for watching this video in its entirety. God bless you on your journey. Namaste, and good life to you all.